Yeah, man, it's September the 8th, 2022, and I'm just going to talk about these gang stalkers and the incredible amount of torture that's been going on lately, the last few days, and how they're really just, lately in general, but the last few days, they've been on my eyes nonstop, 100% of the time almost. And this eye right here is like, it feels like it's almost about to scab up on my eyelid. It's real, real bad. I think they're trying to break me mentally, and it's a tactic not just of jealousy, but of desperation to try to stop me from the progress that I'm making in life. Um, it's the worst that it's ever been. I got at least four guys on my channel all the time, and Marcus, uh, aka Guy Smiley, the gang stalker, Tranny Boy, Castrata. I've just had a lot of names. Then you got the main guy that does most of the narrating type of talking, and they're running live streams, EMF broadcast live streams of remote neural monitoring. They're all part of Robert's neural monitoring gang, Viva la Crucial, whatever. Um, it's really, they operate really like a street gang, but it's a neural monitoring broadcast gang, and um, they should really have, of some federal agents rounding them up under the RICO Act. The way that they operate with porn, illegal porn, and illegal broadcast stuff. It's all neural monitoring stuff and mind control and gang stalking and broadcast torture, where they use these avatar broadcast holograms that they live as and control while they're on mind control, living as a broadcast. When I say they're on mind control, it means like in their mind they see from the broadcast, and they're actually living as a broadcast. But the main guy, I call him 58, Captain Dreer, the gay clown. I'm gonna start calling him Miata. Then you got Grumble that came on with him, early 2017. These guys, think about it: 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Think about all them years. These guys have been on my channel like full time, all the time. Then you got Birthing Yak, the youngest one of the group. They're all part of the same gang, the same group, the same family. A lot of them are related to each other. The Howard Circle guys, and it's a nonstop thing, man. It's like, oh, you're doing your schoolwork. We want your attention instead. So they start blobbing shit all over my face, and I feel it running down my forehead and start being in my eyes, and it feels like little characters just hanging around in my eyelashes and doing stuff. And it's the most horrible thing in the world to have to deal with. I 100% feel like I should be able to defend my life by any means necessary against these people. They attack me violently all day, every day, while I'm driving, while I'm flying, while I'm sleeping. Sleep is prohibited. No sleep, no peace. You lay in the bed and boom, now you're under full-blown attack. Marcus and Birthing Yak, the youngest one, those are the two worst with torture. And just do this. Go on my YouTube channel and search Marcus. You'll get hundreds of videos all the way back to 2016 and 17. You could even probably find stuff about Marcus in 2015 and 16 on SoundCloud on some of my stuff when I first started talking. Because what happened was, I was trying to figure out what was going on. I kind of knew that it was like a broadcast and it's like this artificial telepathy. I was starting to understand about neural monitoring, and I started using call record apps and dealing with shady people and weird situations and all kinds of stuff. And what happened was I started recording these people accidentally when I would be on the phone with somebody else, or like I could call my voicemail and I could hear them in the phone. And I'm like, okay, so this broadcast, this artificial telepathy broadcast where they're talking to you, you can hear them, even if you can't hear them. But it starts crackling and coming through the phone, because phones are a microwave signal. Cellular is a microwave signal. It's a signal. So it's not a sound. But you don't hear a cell phone conversation flying through the air. You hear it decoded through a cell phone. And before that, while it's flying through the air, it's a signal. And the same with artificial telepathy broadcasts. It's a signal flying through the air. And you happen to be the frequency that they're broadcasting on, so you get to hear it out loud, because you're like that cell phone that decodes that particular frequency, if that's what it's programmed to be. So when you get a cell phone call, it comes to your cell phone's frequency, and your cell phone could decode that and hear that. But my cell phone couldn't hear your cell phone calls. Just like you're not going to hear people that are on my neural monitoring, because you're not me. We all have a different neurological frequency, neurological broadcast frequency. So what happened was, when I realized that it was coming through the phone, and then I started to be able to record it in that way, which is as interference. I started to record artificial telepathy and people, and I knew some of these people. And like this girl that has possession or control over my neural monitoring, and makes these arrangements and deals with these idiots that have been on my channel for all this time. No, I don't want him to do this and be successful and talk to girls or have money or anything. Please destroy him. Yes, we can make a deal. These guys have been on my channel for all this time now. While her and them, and they all conspire to try to destroy my life in any way that they can. But so I started calling myself. When I realized it was coming through my phone, I started using two phones. And all I did was call myself and use a cell phone call recording app. And I've done plenty of videos about this. And when I could call myself and have the other phone and just set it down and keep one, on me or whatever. And I was recording these people that were somewhere else. And I knew some of them. So that's where it all started. And I was like, oh, that's it. I got them. And really, I did have them right then. And I've always had them. To be in the position to make a big enough thing about that, it's a big deal. It's a big deal that I was able to record people that aren't where I was, that were not where I was. And I was able to record them by intercepting this broadcast of artificial telepathy as interference. So I started posting all of these things on SoundCloud. Some of them were very sketchy, and it was very difficult to decipher, because when you try to listen back, it's like, people send me stuff. Somebody sent me something yesterday. They're like, listen, these gang stalkers are talking to me and they're talking about you, and I got it recorded, and they sent it to me, and all I can hear is cars passing and like noise, basic background ambient noise. And there was no talking in it. Because when this person that sent me that thing yesterday, when they're listening to it, yeah, they hear something in it. Because it's just their artificial telepathy that's coming to them on their frequency is dispersing off of this sound that they're listening to this recording and focused on that. And they're trying to hear that. And the telepathy sounds, it could sound a lot like it's coming from that and that it is in the recording. But in her case, when she sent me that, it was not. It was not. But I understand what's happening. I haven't had a chance to try to explain that to her yet, but there's just somebody that watches my channel and sent me something and said they're talking about you and me and all this stuff. And I believe them because her gang stalkers definitely probably were doing that. But is it in the recording? No, it's not. And that was the big problem for me, was trying to decipher, is it in the recording or is it them now? And I was having to go through all of these different tactics where I would try to, you know, if you're dealing with artificial telepathy, like if you think something, you're mind controlling them. They want you to. You're not a sorcerer. They want you to. You think something and they say it. So as I was listening, trying to see what's in the recordings that I was making, I would think something else and try to make them say something different or whatever. Like, I was trying to watch the sound waves and stuff and like Audacity and different things like that. And those are the sketchy ones, you know, so there's a lot of sketchy ones because they would act like they're in the recording and it's really them now. And trying to decipher that is very difficult when you're receiving artificial telepathy, and gang stalkers love to play that game. It's a game that they love to play. But the bottom line is, they're not all like that. There was many of my recordings where I recorded people talking that weren't where I was, and I knew some of them. And it's undeniable. And I have the original calls that were recorded where I would call from one of my phones to my other phone and sitting at home by myself and record people that were somewhere else. And I found out about some gang stalkers being on my channel that I didn't know were part of it. And because I could hear who they were because I knew some of them, like I said. And I'll stand by that, and I still have all of that. And there's a lot of stuff from back then, but I was making those every day. I was making those every day and putting them out on SoundCloud. And like I said, a lot of them are inaccurate, but plenty of them are real deal artificial telepathy recordings. And it's hit or miss because it's interference of signal that's coming to you that gets intercepted by your cell phone being close enough of the same wavelength, this microwave broadcast signal. So I was able to do a lot of that. And so that's how I started, And then it wasn't long after that I started talking. I started talking about the situation and putting out recordings of me fussing with gang stalkers and talking about gang stalkers. And then I just started doing me talking. And it was me talking about gang stalkers and my situation and what was going on. And it was all what was happening then. And it was accurate then. Not as accurate as it is now. But that was like 7-8 years ago. And but it was accurate then with broadcast, artificial telepathy and the holograms and how they're into mind control, sex and physical torture with broadcast and all of that stuff. And that's how it started. And then once that kind of was doing something, I was like, wow, people don't know about this stuff and I do. And so I could start putting that stuff out there and helping other people understand. And I didn't like that I was finding so much propaganda and so many people were so confused. And then I realized that where you focus is where a lot of broadcast that's like on your frequency, on your channel, and the people that are connected to you, and you can basically put a broadcast where you focus, and it'll be you'll see faces and all kinds of weird stuff, and it's the people that are connected to you. And so if you focus on a cloud, it would evaporate a cloud. Not because you're magic, because this broadcast technology works that way, and the people who are connected to you don't want to turn off their live streams or their connection to you. And so when you focus on a cloud, it would evaporate the cloud. So I started evaporating clouds on YouTube, and then I just kept on talking about artificial telepathy. And and people like to joke about that. Oh, this idiot thinks he can evaporate clouds. And I would sit there every day of the week and say, hey, check out, there's 10 clouds. See that one? Watch this. And 2 minutes later, that one would be disappeared. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna focus on it. That's all I'm doing. And that one would disappear. Because the broadcast works that way. It's where you focus at. And with all these people connected to me and not want to turn off the connection in the broadcast, and it's just how it worked. And I continue to talk about it. But even way back then, I was talking about these same people. And it really is these same people. And now, within the last year or so, where I've really decided to become very professional about my life, not about my YouTube videos. I'm still just sitting there talking. But to try to become very professional about my life, solve all the problems that I have, and then get down to business with destroying these gang stalkers and their culture, and just really mounting a serious legal offensive against them. And part of the requirements for that is a lot of money. So that's going to be something that's going to be a process. And I've been dealing with this for almost a decade, right at a decade now. So to have a process for a couple years, okay, I'm with it. I'm going to do that. Yeah, and I am going to do that. And another requirement of this process is knowledge. It's very difficult to find somebody who's going to help you on a high level programming or hacking type of service or scenario that you need to get into all of your stuff. And these gang stalkers are into your devices, and they're into your accounts, and they're on your networks. They're on everything you got. They're on all your stuff, running live streams, and in your phone with virtual machines and clones, and they're doing all kinds of stuff all the time, and everything you got, all over your Wi-Fi and all over your cell service, everything. So and that's going to be a process. That's, doing good this semester. Already got the last 2 semesters behind me, and it's a real deal. I'm really going to do this, and it's going to be a process, and it's probably going to take a few years. Meanwhile, I'll continue with the rest of the parts of the process. But the farther along that I get, the more violent these idiots become. And it was 3 full-time. Marcus, then the main guy, Captain Dreer, Gay Clown, whatever you want to call him. I'll just tell you the names that I have for him over the years. And then the grumbly voice guy. Those three Howard Circle guys. But then when I started school 3 semesters ago, the birthing yak guy came on full time with him, and he's very immature. And him and Marcus kind of both are very immature, but it's almost like a competition. So you can hurt me the worst. And the 2 of them are relentless with it all day, every day. Just like Black James said they were going to be before he handed over the main spot to him in mid 2016. When him and Emily and Kimberly were doing the main narrating and the live streams, and all these guys were secondary, and they would have to get out of the way most of the time. When other people were doing their thing, when they became the main people, it got violent. But when I started school, this younger part of their group, this younger guy, Birthing Yak, that he came on, and his goal and his intention when he came on was to attack me enough to cause a violent outlash or complete collapse physically or mentally, to stop me from getting money, to stop me from getting knowledge, to stop me from moving forward towards an inevitable end of their little reign of terror. And so that's what it's been. And the more progress I make and the more serious I become, the more intense and the more persistent they become with physical torture, with broadcast. Attacking my face. My head feels like it's going to explode. They crawl in my ears, crawl in my mouth. They broadcast stuff on my eyes 24/7 now. I can't lay down without being under attack. I literally have to fall asleep and wake up being attacked. And while I'm sleeping, probably still attacking me. Your body and your mind have to go to sleep. It has to happen every day, whether you like it or not. You have to sleep every day, and even if they're torturing you, you just fall asleep being tortured. And it's getting real bad. And they need my attention. I'm doing my schoolwork a little while ago, and they want my attention. And the next thing you know, I got 4 grown men, most of them older than me, 4 grown men, basically like they're competing for my attention, for relevance. They're running live streams. They're doing EMF broadcast live streams. And this is mind control, satellite EMF broadcast mind control. They got the avatar holograms they can connect to and live as and penetrate your body and physically torture you. And they sit there with the artificial telepathy and they receive your thoughts and every imagination you have. And they come in, they run live streams. And it's psychological torment and terrorism. I honestly, without being an angry person right now, calmly, going through this for this long and knowing how they really are, I would be all for 100% for capital punishment for people that use mind control and broadcast holograms to attack and torture people, artificial telepathy 24/7. I would be absolutely fine with capital punishment, put them to death, and get them off of the rock, off of this rock, off of humanity, and out of society. Because they're dangerous to the progress of humanity and anyone else's safety. They become addicted to the way your mind works, and they love to be connected to you, and it's really like slave ownership. They're running broadcast live streams of your life, and they won't let you go. They want to try to make sure you never get neural monitoring, and they want to try to suppress you so they can maintain control over you and your life, your mind, whatever they can have control of, just so they can continue to have access unconsensually, like ownership. It's slavery. It really is slavery. It's also really human trafficking, but more than anything, it's slavery. And they'll do anything. They'll do anything to hold you within their grasp. So that's what's happening now. That's where we're at with it. So I just wanted to update that. Really, I don't want to go on and on, but it's real bad. The physical torture is at a level that's as high or higher than it's ever been, and there's more of them full-time now than there's never been 4 full-time guys until I started school. Now it's 4 full-time. There's always been 1, 2, or 3 full-time people, and then there's been come and go people, but the full-time people that never shut up and beg for my attention all day, every day, and wish to talk to me nonstop and torture me physically with these broadcasts. It's never been 4 full-time until last year, and now it is. But anyway, that's what's going on. I'm going to continue to try to maintain. You can see that, I'm okay. It's very difficult to deal with. but I'm trying to focus on a lot of other things. They don't like that, but it's required for the pathway that I'm choosing. And I have to do a lot, and I spend a lot of time alone. I spend a lot of time on school stuff and studying by myself. I spend a lot of time at work, and I spend a lot of time just trying to maintain this whole thing. But that's it. I'll be back on real soon. Thank you guys for watching, and that's about it.